Good evening and welcome to the University of Louisville Department of Psychiatry 2020 year-end program. I'm Robert Caudell. I'm the program director for the residency program. This is the first, and I very much hope the only, virtual time we will do this. Normally we have a very festive evening in person. This year, we could not do that. But we are hoping to reproduce as much of that as possible in the context of this virtual video messaging. So thank you for attending. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all of you who have participated in the successes and the challenges we've had in this academic year. Next, I'd like to introduce Dr. David Casey, our chairman, who has a few introductory remarks for us.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. David Casey, chair of the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences at U of L. It's my pleasure to welcome you all, guests, faculty, staff, and especially our graduates, to our virtual graduation. This is a unique graduation for us all in a strange time. This has been a year marked by COVID as well as momentous changes in society. Our residents have been leaders in meeting these challenges, and we're all very proud. Despite these challenges, psychiatry has never been more promising and more vital. Recent events will almost certainly provoke challenges in mental health for many of our patients, which our graduates will help to address. Also, I hope all of you graduates will reflect on the all too brief time you have spent here with us, training and learning how to be psychiatrists and how far you've come. This is a time of transition, a joyful time, but also a sobering time, a time to be thoughtful, and a time for us professors also to be grateful for the role that we've been able to play in training you all and making you ready for your next step. Congratulations and good luck to you all. After the ceremony, please visit the breakout rooms and mingle with one another. Once again, thanks and best wishes.
Thank you, Dr. Casey. Next up is Dr. Jessica Reese, our Associate Program Director, who will have some words for families and friends in attendance this evening.
Good evening, I'm Jessica Reese, and I'm the Associate Residency Training Director. I would like to take a moment to recognize those who are here in support of our graduates. We cannot say thank you enough to our amazing faculty for your commitment to education. Your countless hours of teaching, supervision, and mentorship are vital in continuing to train the psychiatrists of the future. To the family, friends, and co-residents of our graduates, we appreciate you being here to celebrate this major milestone. You have also been crucial to the success of these graduates by providing support and encouragement over the past 4 years. We cannot say enough to our amazing faculty for your commitment to education. Your countless hours of teaching, supervision, and mentorship are vital in continuing to train the psychiatrists of the future. To the family, friends, and co-residents of our graduates, we appreciate you being here to celebrate this major milestone. You have also been crucial to the success of these graduates by providing support and encouragement over the past 4 years. Individually, those departing from the program would like to thank their biggest cheerleaders along the way. Dr. Alcori would like to thank her family and friends for the love and encouragement throughout the years. She would also like to recognize her mother and friends, Liz, Garwin, and Jackie, for the tremendous support they provided during her transition into motherhood during the final years of her training. Dr. Bala would like to thank her fellow residents for giving her the opportunity to grow professionally and personally alongside them. She would also like to thank her parents, Drs. Pedro and Victoria Bala, for their unending support and for stocking her refrigerator and freezer with healthy meals. Above all, she would like to thank her boyfriend, Andy, for sticking with her through this entire journey. Dr. Chen would like to thank her parents and her sister for always coming to visit and for all their support over the years. Dr. Rosales would like to give a special thanks to his class of 2020. He would like to give thanks to his parents who taught him to fight and to never give up. He would like to thank his extended family and friends for all their support throughout the years. And finally, he would like to thank Michelle and his children for being his #1 motivator to complete this monumental task. Dr. Wasim would like to thank her parents and grandmother for being constant support throughout her academic career. During residency, Dr. Wasim's parents would fly in from Pakistan every year to celebrate her birthday, and they flew in twice in 1 year to support her before her Step 3 exam. Dr. Wasim says her grandmother's prayers and mom's affirmative words, "You are a shining star," have always kept her going. Dr. Ife would like to thank his wife, Faith, for being his best friend, and his daughter, Cecilia, for choosing data as her first word. Thank you all again for supporting these doctors and for being a part of this celebration. And now I will turn it back over to Dr. Cottle.
Thank you, Dr. Reese. Next, I would like to recognize the chief residents for this past academic year. They've done a great job. We rely on our chief residents a great deal in this program. It's a challenging task. Our chiefs this year have done an excellent job. I'd now like to recognize Dr. Garwin Chen and Dr. Tim Ife. Thank you both for your service to the program. I know you'll do well in all future endeavors. Next up is recognition of the past president of the Resident Association by the new Resident Association president, Dr. Matt Neal.
Good evening. My name is Matthew Neal, and I'll be serving as the RAC president for the year of 2020 to 2021. I'd like to start off tonight by saying thank you to Dr. Chris Lombardi for serving as RAC president over the past year, and especially his great work organizing the retreat this year, despite the crazy circumstances. Virtual retreat was not something that we had initially planned, but Chris did a great job and it turned out to be an incredible success. So thank you to him. And thank you to Jensen Potenza for her work over the past year as the vice president of RAC. And she's really done a lot of work with the scheduling process for call shifts, has streamlined that process with her work, so it's a much less daunting task this year. So we definitely have to give a big thank you to her for that. Now, without further ado, we'll continue with the rest of the program. It's my honor tonight to present 3 awards. First, the Golden Apple Staff Award, then the Golden Apple Teaching Award, and finally the Donald and Dorothy Strauss Supervisor Award. The Golden Apple Staff Award is an award that goes to an outstanding staff member, clinical staff member. And I'm very pleased this year to say that the vote was unanimous for Brenda Getz, LCSW. Thank you, Brenda, for all that you do. We really would be lost without you. Next, we have the Golden Apple Teaching Award. The nominees for this award include Dr. Rifat El-Malik, Dr. George Kalile, and Dr. Robert Frierson. This award goes to outstanding teachers, as you might have guessed from the title. These are all great teachers, and unfortunately the award can only go to one of them this year. The winner of this award is Dr. Rifat El-Malik. Thank you, Dr. El-Malik, for teaching us really every chance you get. Dr. El-Malik is extremely generous with his time and always enthusiastic about learning and spreading knowledge. Last but not least, we have the Donald and Dorothy Strauss Supervisor Award. This award goes to one Outstanding Resident Supervisor, and the nominees are Dr. Ben Schoenbachler, Dr. Scott Hedges, and Dr. Robert Frierson. Again, an outstanding list of nominees, and only one can win the award. This year, the award will go to Dr. Ben Schoenbachler. Thank you, Dr. Schoenbachler, for all of your work teaching us the art of psychotherapy. Again, to recap, the Golden Apple Staff Award will go to Brenda Getz. The Golden Apple Teaching Award to Dr. Rifat El-Malik. And the Donald and Dorothy Strauss Supervisor Award to Ben Schoenbachler. Congratulations to you all.
I now will invite Dr. Casey to introduce Joyce St. Clair to speak a little bit about the Harvey St. Clair Support for Psychodynamic Psychotherapy Education program.
Now I'd like to introduce one of our department's most important supporters, Joyce St. Clair. Joyce has been a longtime supporter, moral support as well as financial support for our department. Her late husband, Dr. St. Clair, was a faculty member, eminent psychiatrist involved in many organizations, in particular the American Psychiatric Association, and was a great supporter of psychotherapy. It's our pleasure to welcome Joyce to the ceremony for a few remarks.
Hi, I'm Joyce St. Clair. I am the widow of Dr. Harvey St. Clair, who was a psychiatrist in Louisville for many, many years. Harvey came to psychiatry quite by accident. World War II happened and the federal government drafted as many medical students as they possibly could. Harvey was sent to Fort Sam Houston to count teeth, which was kind of fun for him. He went count teeth. But after that, he was put in a psychiatric ward to help those who were there. And he found a regular MD and he said, "Hey, I am not prepared. What can you do to help me?" And so the gentleman became his mentor. And of course, Harvey knew the mechanics of being in medical school and those sorts of things, but he needed to learn the intricacies of what it means really to help other people who are in trouble. So he stayed there for 3 or 4 years. He found that he loved it, but that his real mission in life, he wanted to be an internist. He was born in Virginia. He went to MCV, Medical School of Virginia, and when he got out of there, he planned to do a normal residency in internal medicine. He didn't get there. When the end of his period where he was to be turned loose, if you would, from Uncle Sam's pleasure, he was being checked out, and the gentleman who was his mentor all those years was there, and he said, "Well, what do you think?" And Harvey said, "Well, what do you mean, what do I think?" And the fellow said, do you have any interest in becoming a bona fide psychiatrist? Has this piqued your interest enough? And Harvey said, "Well, I don't know. I've always wanted to be an internist." And the man looked at him, and this is what's crucial and what I am trying to say to you, or will say to you very plainly. Pardon me. The gentleman looked at him and he said, "Well, let me ask you, who hurts worse? People whose injuries you can see or people whose injuries you cannot see?" And Harvey went, where do I sign up? So long story short, he went back home to Virginia and he did his residency at Johns Hopkins in Maryland. And it was a wonderful residency. He came to Louisville. He was with for those, most of you don't or probably have not heard these names. There was a foursome. There were four grand old men, they called themselves, who were psychiatrists in Louisville. One was Harvey, one was John Bell, one was Frank Gaines, and the other was Hollis Johnson. Those four men really formed the nucleus of what many in Louisville thought was a spectacular team of psychiatrists who genuinely cared about their patients. And Harvey pretty much spent his whole life genuinely caring about his patients. He was very straightforward. He said exactly what he thought. Maybe Keith Auerbach, who trained under Harvey many years ago, and when Keith was going on vacation, and he kind of was afraid to ask Dr. St. Clair, would he fill in for him with a couple patients at Our Lady of Peace? And he said, sure. So Dr. Auerbach went on his vacation, and when he got back, his patient was furious with him. She met him at the door, and she said, I'm never coming back here. The MD that you sent me was terrible. So Keith asked Harvey what had happened, and Harvey said, he said, I walked in the door, and she began to tell me those issues that bothered her the most. And he said, I looked at her and I said, it looks like you are rearranging the decks on the Titanic. And of course, what that did was make her angry, but she also realized that much of what she considered to be her issues were no different than anyone else's issues. And another long story short, she got well, she left. He said he never saw her again, and Harvey certainly had never seen her again. I've given you a long introduction to what causes me to pause and to look at you, and certainly I cannot look at you, but I know that you're there as brand new graduates of the residency program at the U of L in psychiatry. One thing that is so special, there are many things special about psychiatry, but one thing that stands out to me in psychiatry is there is no other medical specialty in which the doctor has the opportunity to know that patient very well. Now, psychiatrists are MDs, so they have to know, and you know this yourself, you have to know about blood pressure and this, that, and the other. But what is so important, the physical symptoms interface with psychological issues, with psychiatric problems. And that's important. It's very important. Harvey spent the bulk of his career in Louisville caring deeply about his patients. He went on to become, Harvey was he was on the board of trustees of the American Psychiatric Association, which is a big deal. He went to every APA, American Psychiatric Association meeting that it was possible to go to so that he could learn from meeting other psychiatrists, most of whom were renowned because of what they knew, what they did, etc. His whole life was helping people become who they wanted to be. Now, certainly serious psychiatric illnesses, schizophrenia, and I'm kind of wading in the water. I'm not profuse at that. I'm a chemist by training. So I can give you all kinds of molecule sorts of things. But what's important is that they know, they meaning psychiatrists, over any other specialty, really have the opportunity to help their patients because they see the entire person. And I ask you to remember that you are trained, you're a caring individual. People are good people. They need an opportunity for someone to hear them. And I think above anybody else, psychiatrists, particularly the newer ones coming out of residency programs today, which is you all, have a wonderful opportunity to help other people. And that's a big deal. You will probably never see me again, but I will tell you, it gives me great happiness to be able to speak to you, and perhaps I will say something that piques your interest. I know you want to get out and go out into your new world. What I would ask you to do in your new world is not only think about yourself, because you have to set up shop, you have to make a living, you've got to pay off medical school debts, and God knows what else you have to do. But I want you to become your best self. And my thinking right now, you all, is that at this moment in time, with all of the things that have swirled around you and me and everybody else we know, you will and are and were, you have become your best self. And I would ask you to stay your best self, because you are the future. You're helping people who need you desperately. They may not know it, but you know it. And with that, I'm going to close. I have something that is very dear to me, and I'm going to read it to you. One of the few things, I'm going to read all of you all a singular poem. Harvey died in 2001. Hardest day of my life, but you didn't come to hear that. I came here to hopefully inspire you through talking about the things that inspired him. My late husband wrote one poem in his whole life, and he wrote it in October 1992. It was a snowy day in Louisville. I had been at a meeting in Cincinnati, drove home in the snow. Harvey met me at the door and he said, "I have written a poem today." And I said, "Really?" Because he didn't write poems. He read considerably. He did what he needed to do. Here's what I'm going to read you. And I'm going to give these copies to Rob Caudle and ask him to pass them out to you. I'll put them in the mail for him. It's called Hope. The vistas of history, the struggle of today, the mists of the future, affirm man's hope. Seldom sought, oft forgot, offset by despair, hope is ever there. Not a wish, origins obscure, spawning faith, its cloak secure. Courage a cousin, caring a brother, always a friend, its presence eternal. Maimed by fear, glibly said, never concrete, it lives inside. Restoring balance, assuring peace, profusing light, our unsung heritage. And so with that, I'll leave you with a poem that is very, very dear to me, and hopefully it will be dear to you in terms of what you're doing is giving people hope. And that is the most important thing you can ever do. Whether it's, I don't know what it is, but everything the human life relates to, just give me hope. That's what you're doing for your patients and yourself and your family. So with that, I'll leave you and I thank you. You may not remember me, but I will remember you, because it's always an honor and a pleasure for me to be invited to come and talk with you guys. Have a good year. Have a wonderful life. Bye.
Thank you, Joyce St. Clair. Thank you, Dr. Casey. Next, Dr. Kathy Vincent will lead us in the presentation of the Laughlin Award given to a faculty member.
Good evening to all. Each year, the Education Office recognizes a faculty member who has shown continued dedication to the teaching mission and the support of our trainees. This has been a particularly challenging year where we've had a major shift in our didactic curriculum and our clinical curriculum, but hopefully not in the quality of teaching, supervision, and clinical care given by our trainees and our attending faculty. This year and tonight, I am honored to present the Laughlin Award for Teaching Excellence. This award is given to a recipient who has been recognized in the past by a Golden Apple Award. He is an expert in geriatric psychiatry and administrative psychiatry, and he really enjoys teaching the art of psychiatry, which is psychotherapy. He has taught most of us in this room. He's taught all of our residents. I am pleased tonight to announce the recipient of the award, Dr. David A. Casey. Congratulations, Dr. Casey.
Dr. Vincent is also going to present some of the recognition for work done in the community by our residents.
Hello again. Tonight, we're going to talk about community engagement and the participation by our residents as advocates and community participants. We've had several people that we are aware of that do this. However, there are probably many more residents who do things in the community that we don't know about. First of all, we'll talk about Gulai Tegan, who serves as a volunteer on the COVID hotline as a Turkish interpreter. She also volunteers for the White Tulip Health Foundation, and this April and May, she obtained and delivered food and needed supplies to the needy in the community and the elderly. So thank you, Dr. Tegan. Next is Dr. Hira Wasim, who also is involved with the COVID-19 hotline, working with Dr. Suleiman. And she also is on a task force working with the mayor's office to establish a response to trauma that many individuals in our community have experienced due to recent triggers of past traumas. So thank you, Dr. Wasim. Next is a big shout out to all of our residents for their participation in Toys for Tots. Again, the Department of Psychiatry residency program collected more toys per resident than any other residency in the university, but several are chomping at our heels. This year, we had a wonderful and beautiful coverlet made by Carol Thomas, which generated a lot of money, which allowed us to purchase a lot of toys. So hopefully next year we will continue our trend and be the #1 recipient. Next, we have Aruj Yazdani, who is an advocate for children and women. Her story is interesting. Dr. Yazdani has a master's degree from Johns Hopkins, and her thesis was on girls' education in developing countries, particularly Pakistan. And she wrote her thesis. As a result of her thesis, she directed and produced a film about a young girl in Pakistan and her educational strives. She premiered her film at the Speed Art Museum in July of last year, 2019, and it has been on the festival circuit internationally over the last year. And in June of this year, it will be on television. So congratulations, Dr. Yastani, and thank you for all your advocacy work. So those are the ones that we know about. Again, there are many residents who probably do things that we are unaware of. And if you want a big shout out next year, let us know. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Vincent. Now for some training office recognitions. We're going to talk about the highest PRITE scores in the program, Alpha Omega Alpha, the Medical Honor Society, our Mind Games team, recognition for those residents participating in some of our tracks, and then a few individual recognitions. The PRITE is the Psychiatric Residency in Training exam. It's administered annually along with other departments who have their own in-service exams. The score is normalized at 500, with 100 points being a standard deviation either side. This is a numerical recognition of medical knowledge and reflects well toward how residents will often do in terms of taking their national board exams. Our top scores by subsection this year were Dr. Stephen Love with a 686 in neurosciences, Dr. Stephen Love with a 725 in clinical neurology, and Dr. Audrey Pulitzer with a 645 in clinical psychiatry. The highest total score was Dr. Love at 707. That's 2 standard deviations above the norm. Top scores by class, Dr. Rena Perlin in PGY1 group, Dr. Stephen Love in the PGY2 class. The asterisk indicates that he is repeating. He's second year in a row as the high scorer. Dr. Audrey Pulitzer in the PGY3 class, and Dr. Tim Ife, also a repeater in the PGY4 class. Alpha Omega Alpha is the National Medical Honor Society founded in 1902. It's dedicated to the belief in the profession of medicine. We will improve care by recognizing high educational achievement, honoring gifted teaching, encouraging the development of leaders in academia and the community, supporting the ideals of humanism, and promoting service to others. Many are elected in medical school, but election is also possible for outstanding residents and faculty. This year, I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Stephen Love to the Alpha Omega Alpha Medical Honor Society. We are able to put together a team to compete against other programs on an annual basis in something known as the Mind Games competition, sponsored by the American Psychiatric Association. We take the 3 highest scores in the program and put them on the team. We've done quite well in the past. This year was no exception, but we were not in the top 10. There are 250 programs in the country. Dr. Love was our team captain. Dr. Audrey Pulitzer and Dr. Drew Cameron were teammates. As training director, I'm able to make a number of recognitions for our program partners. These include Norton Hospital, Bingham Clinic, the VA Medical Center, Central State Hospital, the Brook, and the Adonta Group. Thank you for your contributions to our program. I'd also like to recognize the individuals who make this all possible. First and foremost, Dr. Jessica Reese, our Associate Program Director, who solves many program problems before I even know they have occurred. Thank you, Dr. Reese. Christy Castle, a perennial favorite of our residents, is our program coordinator, and she too takes care of many tasks behind the scenes that make everything run so smoothly. Dr. Kathy Vincent is our Vice Chair for Education and offers immeasurable support for all that we do. And then, of course, Dr. David Casey is also supportive of our educational programs in his role as chair. Other individuals meriting notice, Dr. Alan Tasman and his ongoing support for education as a former chairman and a sponsor of one of the awards we'll get to later. Dr. Gordon Strauss has certainly contributed greatly to our educational efforts over time, particularly in support of the AK Rice initiative that a number of our residents have been able to take advantage of. Dr. Brian Briscoe, a former resident of the program and a long time supporter of our efforts in education. Thank you, Dr. Briscoe. And Dr. Scott Hedges, who, while 7 counties has been unable to participate as fully in the past academic year as in the past, has stepped up and supervised a number of our residents and has become a popular supervisor as a result. Next is recognition of individuals participating in our various tracks. This year, we have 2 individuals in the academic track, Dr. Ife, who is completing his training, and Dr. Price, who will become a PGY4 in the next academic year. We have our last resident completing the community service track, probably for a while, in Dr. Garwin Shen. Next, to introduce the Martin L. Grossman Consultation Liaison Award, I'd like to introduce Dr. Eugenia Bricker.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bricker, and I'm presenting the Consult Liaison Award on behalf of myself and Dr. Frierson. The Martin L. Grossman Consultation Liaison Award was named after a UofL PGY4 resident who planned to become a psychosomatic fellow and then work as a consult liaison psychiatrist. This year, Dr. Frierson and I would like to congratulate Stephen Love on being the recipient of the Martin L. Grossman Consultation Liaison Award.
The John Bell Emergency Psychiatry Award goes to an outstanding PGY2 resident who has done work in that facility at a standard that is enviable, period. This is presented this evening on behalf of Dr. Christina Terrell, who is the Director of Emergency Psychiatric Services, as well as Psychiatric Services within the University Hospital. EPS is an unparalleled learning facility, period, presents a wide range of clinical dilemmas, period. This year's recipient of the John Bell Emergency Psychiatry Award is Dr. Saba Afshar. Congratulations. Next, to introduce the Resident Research Award is Dr. Rif El Malik.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's very nice to see you here tonight, as if we're actually seeing you here tonight. But it's an interesting way to have the award dinner. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Rafael Malik, Dr. Al Malik. I'm one of the faculty members here, and I think I know almost everybody. But my purpose here tonight is to announce the winner of the Resident Research Award. So the Resident Research Award is an award that we've been presenting at the University of Louisville. I can't remember now, almost 25 years, maybe 28 years. It's an award that is given to the highest quality, publication quality paper submitted by one of our residents. There's no limitation as to what year the resident is, but it has to be publication quality. It doesn't necessarily have to be published, it has to be publication quality, and the resident has to have been the predominant author for creating it. And just so that people know, when we get the papers submitted, there is a committee that reviews these papers, involves myself, Dr. Steve Lipman, and Dr. Tracy Els. All of us read the papers and all of us vote on which resident is most deserving of the award. The award itself is actually associated with a pretty small financial incentive that comes along with it. But really the award is its own award. Getting the award is really the main thing that you get when you get it. So this year, it's very much my pleasure to announce that Dr. Ali Faruqi has won the research award. Dr. Faruqi submitted 5 separate papers. If you can always overwhelm the committee in terms of giving you the award, but we were able to read them, but they were actually very good, and most of them, all of them, Dr. Faruqi was actually a major writer in each one. So it's very nice. Dr. Faruqi, for those of you that do not know, is currently a second-year resident. He is an interest in research and an interest in some of the academic stuff, and again, doing a fair amount of work towards this. So again, congratulations, Dr. Faruqi. It's very nice work.
Next, to introduce the Veterans Administration Award is Dr. Sajida Suleiman.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Zubi Suleiman, and I work at VA. And I have an honor to present an award today on behalf of VA Medical Center. So this award is the Robley Rex VA Psychiatric Resident Service Award, which is presented every year to a resident who has spent rotating at the VA within the prior academic year. This award is to be given for outstanding service and dedication in the delivery of care to our nation's veterans. The award is to be presented to a resident who demonstrated exceptional interest and motivation in the care of our veterans. This award is voted on and approved by the psychiatry faculty at the Robley Rex VA Medical Center, and it is accompanied by a cash award. I'm really excited to announce that this year the award is presented to Dr. Sharita Weathers for her exceptional work and compassion towards the veterans. Congratulations, Dr. Weathers.
Next, to introduce the Inpatient Award for PGY2 resident is Dr. George Kalile.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kalile. Thank you for being here this evening on graduation. On behalf of myself and Dr. Wong in the Department of Psychiatry, I'd like to present the Inpatient PGY2 Award. We're looking for candidates who are not only have good clinical skills, but they'll work together with the team, as inpatient is a team approach. And this past year was very challenging, not only because of the pandemic. We've had a lot of acute patients, medically complex patients, disposition challenges, and the residents, I think, did great as a whole this past year. Like I said earlier, there's many good candidates this past year, and this year's recipient of the award is Matt Neal. Congratulations, Matt.
Next up, to introduce the University Outpatient Psychiatry Award is Dr. Eric Goodwin.
The University Outpatient Psychiatry Award is given to the PGY3 resident who takes exemplary care of the patients assigned to them, is a team player collaborating with and assisting clinical and administrative staff, and creates documentation that, while not overly verbose, includes biopsychosocial assessments and treatment plans, correct spelling and grammar, runs a spell checker, addresses patient education and other meaningful use requirements, and looks at rendered notes before signing off. And this year's winner is Dr. Raven Price. Congratulations. Good job.
Next, it's my pleasure to present the recipient of the Ruby and John Schwab Award. This is one of the awards that has been in the department the longest period. John Schwab was a former chairman of the program. This award recognizes academic achievement in research, writing, and teaching during residency. It's given to the resident thought to have the most academic potential. As a previous recipient of this award myself, it's my pleasure to present this award to Dr. Timothy Ife. The next award is the Dr. Alan and Kathy Tasman Outstanding Resident Award for Clinical Teaching and Scholarly Excellence. We are fortunate this evening to have Dr. Tasman and his wife Kathy to present the award via video.
Hi, this is Kathy and Alan Tasman coming to you from an undisclosed location. Well, actually, it's just our house, but I thought that sounded a little more dramatic. It's a great pleasure for us to announce this year's winner of the Tasman Award for Residency Excellence. We've had a long tradition of outstanding residents win this award and go on to do great things in their career. So we're very pleased to announce that this year's winner is Garwin Chen. Congratulations, Garwin.
Congratulations.
Next comes a slideshow prepared in honor of those completing the program this year. Thank you to Matt Neal for his contribution. Next, to recognize the 2020 residents who are leaving our program to pursue training in child and adolescent residencies, Dr. Jessica Reese.
At this time, I would like to recognize the 2020 residents who have completed 3 years of adult psychiatry training and will be fast-tracking into a 2-year child and adolescent fellowship. Dr. Christine Bala will remain here in Louisville as she has accepted a position at the University of Louisville. Dr. Hira Wasim has accepted a position at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio. Congratulations to both of you, and we wish you the best of luck in the remainder of your training.
I'd now like to recognize those finishing the adult 4-year program in psychiatry here at the University of Louisville. This presentation is brought to you by our sponsor, Mayhem, who seems to have sponsored this last year of their training. Normally here, I would offer some thoughts on the occasion. I think we all have our own thoughts about how we've gotten to this point and what lies ahead. We've been challenged in many ways. I think we have interesting challenges ahead. I feel confident that our graduates this evening are well prepared for that. Now, in recognition of the 2020 graduates from our program, first is Dr. Susanna Alkuri. Dr. Alkuri is from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. She went to medical school at the University of the Americas, and she plans to join her father's practice back in Oklahoma after completing her training. Dr. Garwin Chin was born in Taipei, but grew up in St. Louis. She attended Pomona College and medical school at University of Alabama, Birmingham. She plans to do some locum tenens work before making a final decision about what the next significant phase in her career will be. Dr. Jeremy Rosales is from St. Paul, Minnesota. He completed medical school in Costa Rica. After graduation, he plans to provide inpatient services at a private hospital in Granite City, Illinois. Dr. Timothy Ife is a graduate of the University of Louisville School of Medicine. Dr. Ife, along with Dr. Chin, were co-chiefs this year. Dr. Ife will be joining us on faculty in July. We look very much forward to continuing to work with Dr. Ife as a colleague. Congratulations to all of you. Normally, I would have some closing remarks at this point, instructing you where to go to have photos made. I will remind you that we do have a meeting in a Zoom room immediately to follow, and there will be a toast, so provide your own appropriate beverage. I would also be advising you about our summer picnic and the welcoming for the new PGY1 class. We will indeed be welcoming a PGY1 class, but the picnic will have to wait. So as far as joining the Zoom meeting, the instructions are here. If you go to any sort of Zoom room, you can simply type in this number, 997-398-50690. That's 997-398-50690 into a Zoom room. If you can get this whole link into any major browser, it will take you there. It will have a better experience if you do actually have the Zoom app downloaded onto your device. So again, thank you for joining us this evening. Our congratulations to all the award recipients as well as the graduates of the program. Have a good evening, and we'll see you soon in the Zoom room. This has been a Red Pillar production.